Maria,
Yes.
you're actually advocating a contra opinion.
Actually, skip the part about being disciplined and consistency is the key and all that, right? So, because that's kind of common knowledge now, and I believe your audience are mature, right? And then they understand all of this, and that's why they even use Stockmock. Running a basket of very low drawdown systems is also kind of overfit, right?
I think your thought process is we are trying to perfect the system, and in the process, in future, we may face issues.
We have something called as six-figure club, and then there is next one which is like seven-figure club. Then again, there are a few who cross the nine figures as well, and people who are big hitters.
Hey, hi, welcome to yet another episode of the podcast series where we invite our guests to share their journey and learning with us. Today, with us, we have a friend who is from Chennai and whose name is Maria. This guy is in market for over 10 years now, and he has helped over 2000 traders become better in their journey. Why am I saying he has helped traders become better? Because his teaching style is little different that I have seen from others. He just don't bring in whosoever comes to him. He just not teaches them. He helps them grow. He gives support later on so that whatever thing, that issue that they're facing, he helped and resolve them faster. So, and okay, I'll take this opportunity to tell you how I got introduced to him. In while we launched the Stockmock in 2019, I think in the first 3 months itself, I started to get many calls wherein people were saying, uh, asking about some use cases and other stuffs or making some suggestions to us. And my take was always that I'll ask them, how did he get to know about Stockmock? So for first 3 months or something like that, I got so many users who said that I came from Maria sir. So I said, who is this Maria sir? Who is suggesting? But after 3 months, I started noticing that yeah, there are some hundreds of guys coming to Stockmark because of him. So I got in touch with him, and he was so kind. He never, by himself, said to me that I've said you so many people, many a times people does this, but he said that I really love the platform and things like that. So, and I love talking to him because not just because he suggests Stockmock to users, but he's very transparent in his approach in trading, in teaching, and otherwise. And yes, he's also a trader. I think, we'll confirm with him, but I think he manages over 3+ crores for himself. So allow me to welcome Mr. Maria. How are you?
मेरी बस आपसे हाथ जोड़ के निवेदन है, मैं पूरे अपने दिल के अंदर आपके लिए प्यार और मोहब्बत जगा के ये बात आपसे इज्जत के साथ मैं आपसे ये बात पूछना चाहता हूँ, करना है नहीं करना?
Hi, Nitish. Glad to be here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for accepting the invite, Maria.
I was always looking forward to, I've been listening to this series of yours, and yes, of course, it is something that is not that we see often, right? Because, the other places that we usually see this is maybe people who are not regular kind of traders, right? Not the everyday kind of traders. And whatever you've done and the kind of people you've interviewed earlier, and the kind of value that they add, from the perspective of retailers. So this is a good initiative, and I'm really glad to be a part of this.
That's great. So kind of you. And by the way, that's my talent to find the hidden gems.
Good.
But
Yes.
I have some queries, first of all, to confirm so that our listeners get to know. I think you are managing some 3+ crores right now, correct?
Yes, around that.
Around 3
Somewhere in
plus
the
crores.
ballpark, yeah.
My second big question is there are so many books in the background. Have you read all of them?
About 70% of them.
70% of them. That's so great.
Yeah.
Now, my third and most important question to you is most of our listeners may not know you because you prefer to stay out of this social media kind of a hype and other things. And I've
Yes.
also seen and I've also talked to the traders you have taught that you suggest them to also stay away from social media. Why is that? Because I know there are trainers who want to go to social media, who want to show M to M, who want to do a lot many things, but you do anti of that. Why?
Because I think that is something that I've learned along in my journey as well. That I got started into this. Maybe if I can tell about that as well.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
I started in a different way. Like most people, what you would have heard is people start with investing and then they come into trading and all that. For me, it was straight away jumped into trading in 2000 around that to 2012, where I thought, and I saw a few people, doing this, and primarily in the commodities market, and I wanted to do this the proper way. So again, my way of doing it is, learning from book. And I came to know about this trend following, right? And so simply trend following, simple moving averages. And then I started doing that in crude oil, and then it was going good, right? It was going good, and probably I think I did about 27-30% in 6 months or so, and maybe the trend was also in my favor at that time, or probably the beginner's luck, but it was going good, and probably if I'd stayed at that, right, I would have been a different person, or doing something else right now. But then that social thing caught me, right, where I was browsing through a lot of forums, and then a lot of people were discussing about discretionary trading or using some kind of an analysis. I thought I am in the wrong boat, or whatever I'm doing is not the right way of doing it, right? And because people talk about 5%, 10% per month, right? And then I thought that is where I should be, right? Because at that time, I was running a small business, right? I was doing an online business, and I pretty much spent about 10 to 13 hours in my business, and freedom was something that I was actually longing for, right? And this was that perfect opportunity, right? And along the way, I think I wasted about 3 or 4 years, right, trying to do that. And in the process, I learned options and all that, and right, and I was in deep negative at that time, and I wanted to make this work somehow. And then I thought, went back to my old systems. Then I just figured out what I missed. If I've been following my old system, maybe yes, so there were periods of drawdown and all that, but I wouldn't have lost money in the first place. And then I would have comfortably made about 30% per year. And before these back tests, right, somehow I was doing this in a different way, right? Again, buying and selling and placing the stop losses just 50%. And I don't know what, but just 50% of it. And somehow it worked for some time. And then trend following was again something that has been working, and I refined my systems and a lot of manual backtest and all that. And then when I saw the Stockmock for the first time, it was I thought this is something that is magical, right? And this is something that has been hidden from a lot of people for longest time. And this is something that was eye opener for me. And then I did not even think anything, right? Whenever whatever systems I was just backtesting, I just started implementing them.
And therefore, we are looking for all your ups and downs that you have seen in your journey. We are looking for the crux that you're going to share with our listeners today. So shoot.
Yes. All right. So we will actually, we will start with the strategy, right? But before that, so this, since you use this word crux, right? So I wanted to keep this as the word, or, being focused, right? In this clutter, in this chaos, right? So market is a chaotic place, right? Where there are thousands of people thinking that this is the best price to sell, and at the same time, there are thousands selling this is the best price to buy, right? So it is chaotic. We need order. We need to have a bit of rational thinking here and doing the right thing, right? So there are a lot of things that we need to do on a regular basis, and particularly discretionary traders has a lot of thinking to do, right? Discretionary traders would have a lot of decisions to be made, and that decision will directly impact their bank account and their life, right? So the kind of weightage that is placed on these decisions are higher. So we are not expected to take the right decision all the time, right? But it is easier, I believe, to do the right things all the time, so the decisions would fall in place.
The problem is this only: how do we decide what is right, what is wrong?
So whatever is simple, I believe is right thing to do at that moment, right? So when we talk about this, yes, Nitish, I'd like to ask you this.
Sure.
How do we know that if something is right or wrong?
By trying that out, or by
so
understanding it deeper.
Yeah. So mostly, I'd say people, judge a thing if it is right or wrong based on the outcome.
Hmm.
If the outcome is favorable, we think that is the right thing. And then if the outcome is not favorable, we believe that it is not the right thing, right? So in discretionary trading, there is a lot of learning that happens, right? We spend a lot of time in the charts and we do trades, and then there is a lot of feedback in form of profits and losses, right? And most of the time we appreciate profits, and losses we do not appreciate, and we learn more from the profits that we make, right? So in a way, it adds a lot of recency bias into our thinking, where something that has happened recently, we think that that is right, and if that has made profit, or if that is the outcome has been good. All right, so we will talk all about this, right? The drawdowns, the basket strategies, and to do the right thing. And we would actually skip the part about being disciplined and consistency is the key and all that, right? So because that's kind of common knowledge now, and I believe your audience are mature, right? And then they understand all of this, and that's why they even use Stockmock.
What's this, man? This looks cool.
Okay, yes. So this kind of the mind map that I built, and of course, I'm not really good at PPT, right? So that's why you saw my slides just be around 4 slides longer. So this kind of makes it easy to go with the flow, I believe, right?
Okay.
So let's start with the system, to be so the first thing about backtest, right? You'd be the best person to know this, or you'd be the best person to answer, is the whatever we see on the backtest, right? Nitish, do you think that is something that is achievable, right, by a normal person with a retail person with a discount broker account with probably algo stitched?
See, I have been advocating this for long, even from my Vivek Bajaj interview, that first we add inbuilt slippages of 0.5% so that user sees already the bad results, not that great results. Secondly, I have said this probably now hundreds of times, expect 60 to 70% of the day profit that you see and double the MDD or triple the MDD that you see. So
Definitely.
I'll say no in short to your answer.
Okay, yes. So because that backtest totally discounts a lot of things, right? It is the first price, the people who do not do not change the systems, right? And do not tweak the system, do not exit early, do not do any of those stuff. And if that is done, and that is, something that, personally, if you ask me, Nitish, we match the backtest, or sometimes it overshoots as well, right? So again, there are 50-50 chances of, not going good or going good as well. So the backtest is something that we can look at as a sort of a validation tool than a prediction tool edge. And more or less, the dots always gets connected in the future, right? And most of the times we will see how it performs in the market, right? And if we focus on the logic over data, right? And data that I'm talking about is, of course, we need to have a lot of data, right? A lot of days of data, but not looking at specific numbers like, average profit per day, right? And sticking to systems or low drawdown systems, right? People all the time look for low drawdown systems. I think that's the number one thing that people might ask you as well, right? If you know of any setting that can, spin out a system that has the lowest drawdown. So when we have that kind of expectation, right? Since you spoke about expectation, Nitish, right? The moment he sees a first month in red, obviously he has a lot of chances that the odds are that he's just going to jump the system, right? And he's going to find for the, jump to the next shiny object.
True.
And the same goes with the drawdowns as well, right? So you put it together, we do all the stuff that is possible to make a system that has the lowest drawdown.
Okay.
And of course, when you see that it is not, something that you can handle, and the moment you will be jumping to the next system, or you look to something to tweak, right? So, and again, I believe when you tweak a system, that essentially you are quitting it, right? You're quitting that system and you're starting something new, or something, you can say the butterfly effect, right? When there is a change in the initial state, and there is always going to be ripples all around, right? So you're entirely starting a new system, and you would not actually continue from where you left. You'll be starting a new thread altogether. So whatever you missed, or whatever, even if that system comes back, and this new system is going to be different, and you're going to be going on to a new journey, and you've lost all the momentum that you built. And another thing I want to stress is that it is the first resistance that is going to be always the most difficult, right? Once you tweak, or once you do something, and it is always going to be easy for you to do that, because there's always a way, right? And there's always a plan B. So once you tweak it, once you change the system, then that is going to become a habit. So the first resistance is going to be the strongest. So we should respect that, and not to overfit, right? So overfitting, people believe mostly that it is, it's about the entry time or the exit time and the stop losses and all that. But having the kind of expectation is also something that we need to take into account, right? Running a basket of very low drawdown systems is also kind of overfitting.
Because you're trying to perfect a system.
Yes, we are trying to perfect a system, and we are attempting to get the best of something, right? And I would ask you this again, Nikhil, do you think anything that is perfect that exists in the world?
Nothing is ideal or holy grail. So,
Yes. Holy grail in trading, as well as other stuff as well, right? In your relationships, in your life,
actually, this
whatever.
line is very, very catchy, and this is very cool as well. If you attempt to perfect any system, actually, I'm so sorry to digress from here, but
Yes.
I can relate it to my entrepreneurship journey too, because because I've been an entrepreneur for so long, when I tried to perfect my product before launching it, it never actually took off.
So here in trading, we can say, do not fix something that is not broken.
Yeah.
Right. And people always, we have this, probably from our education and the kind of work that we do. And most of us do the kind of work that is always firefighting or fixing something, right? We
Yes.
have to troubleshoot. When this system that you saw in the back test is not behaving in a way that you expect it to be, then there is a strong urge to fix something, right? And I'd ask everybody, the first time you get that urge, right, that is going to be the strongest. And if we can fight that, and it is going to be easy, discipline is just that, right?
Nice.
Nothing else. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Nice way. Overfitting is not just about systems out there on Stockmock. Overfitting can be here as well. So
Definitely, yes.
it's nice. Yeah, Maria.
So that way, if we can remove the filters and just flow with the market, right? So instead of trying and finding something specifically, right, low drawdown systems or systems that has all green months, what if we can fit this into a logic, right? Let's take an example. Let's do a system today.
Yeah, please. That
right? Somebody with a capital of say 10 lakhs. Right. So probably he needs a basket of system instead of he putting 5 lots in a same system, right? And of course everybody wants to do that, not putting their eggs in all their eggs in the same basket. So if we can fit a logic to this, right? So mostly, we can build any kind of system with Stockmock, right? So if you want to completely capture the theta, right, you focus on theta, or if you want to capture the trend, right, you have a smaller stop loss and, do a breakout trade, like, smaller stop loss systems. And if we can build a logic around this and forget about overfitting or forget about everything else, and let's see if things fall in place. So before building the system, if we can keep a benchmark of option selling.
Okay.
And some people even have a question that is even theta decay an edge.
Oh,
right?
That's a talk of the town.
Yes. Right. So So let's say I'm just going here to Stockmock. Let's say let's just sell basic strangle, right? Just one out of the money, one strike out of the money, call and put, and no stop loss, right? And let's say about 3 days before the expiry, and say just about the close. And I'm just going to keep it simple, right? Everything just like that.
Just for our audience, let me explain. You can start the back test.
Yeah.
For how long you're doing it? Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Run it. Okay. So for our audience, what Maria has done is he has entered 3 days before expiry. So 3 days means if 0 days before expiry means on expiry, 1 day before Wednesday, 2 days before means Tuesday, 3 days before means Monday. And he's exiting on exit
On
day,
the
0
expiry day, just
on
around
expiry day.
2:30.
On the same time itself. Yeah. Yes.
All right. So this is something that is desirable. Yes, Nitish, somewhere around 1,700 rupees
Okay.
per week on a say capital of 2 lakhs. If that can be done consistently over years, over long periods, and that is something that we can even think of this as a business that can be done, right? This kind of return.
That means around 3% a month. If
Yes.
done
Yes.
consistently. Yes. Okay.
But there are issues here, right? There are issues like the maximum drawdown is quite high, right? And of course, your position is totally open, right? The naked option selling, and then whatever might happen, which has not happened in these last 4 years, and there are a lot of other uncertainties around this. But still, is the system making money?
Yes.
Right? So all that this system is about is theta decay, right? The time decay that has happened, because we've not touched anything, totally extrinsic value, both of these options. And of course, they have to go to zero. And we default have this, whenever we do such things, right, without overfitting, we'll do this, we'll almost always see this standard deviation, right? 68% around that kind of success rate.
Right.
Right. So that is what this selling is all about, right? Theta decay is an edge, and that is something that we just need to control this a bit. And if we can keep this 1,800 as a benchmark, right? If we can beat this and reduce the drawdowns and keep it at a minimal level, and I think we would have something pretty much good for us to trade, right? And because when we talk about trading and investing, and people are more worried about drawdowns in trading than in investing, right? So you would know a lot of good investors. Nitish.
Yeah.
How much of drawdown do you think they go through, right, through the years?
Lot
more than we can imagine, right?
Yes.
And they are looking at probably 20% per year or 25% per year, and that has to be done for longer periods of time, right?
Right.
But traders, we tend to think we need to make about 30, right? Most probably about 30 till 50, 60, 70 also. And but the drawdown needs to be less than 5%.
Yes.
Right. And of course, investors make money only on bull years and bullish months, and but traders, we like to make money throughout. Right. So okay, around 10% or 20% drawdown is something that I think most traders are good with, right? So if you can do this.
Well, actually, sorry to interrupt again.
Yes.
Maria, you're actually advocating a contra opinion. Many people say, including me, that if you're having a less than 5% drawdown system, that is pretty cool. Many people are actually doing with 2.5%, 3%. But I think your thought process is we are trying to perfect the system, and in the process in future, we may face issues. So rather
Yes.
than perfecting the system, let's stick with some basic concepts, right?
Basic concepts, yes. So if say if we want to make money with theta decay, then we need to understand there is a amount of risk that we're taking to the table,
True.
right? We need to because of course there's no free lunch, right? It doesn't happen that way. Without risk, there's not going to be anything around here, right? So unless there are something that is guaranteed returns, right? Guaranteed returns, there are, of course, the ways where HFTs work, right? Market making and arbitrage, and those are like opportunities that is with lower risk, right? But everybody cannot be doing that. So whatever is in our control and our realm, right? And if we can do that, and of course 2%, 3% is good, but it's good until it works. Yeah, let's just do this in a let's just do an intraday system, right? Maybe intraday is more comfortable, right, with people, and also the overnight exposure is going to be low. So let's just plan a system.
I'll tell you one more reason why intraday is more popular.
Yes.
Because Stockmock has popularized it.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're gone.
So let's say 4 lots of intraday.
4 lots. Okay, so we are planning for 2.5 lakhs per lot.
Yeah, say almost 2
2.5.
lakhs. Say 2 lakhs.
Okay.
And 1 lot, say position.
Oh, nice
So
mixture.
that way, your positional overnight risk is you're not exposing too much, right? So for your 10 lakhs, you're only exposing yourself to about 8 lakhs, right? Of a risk.
Understood. Okay.
So intraday, and again coming back to intraday, and here I'm going to be focusing only on theta decay, right? And we're not thinking of trend, right? So for this system, let's say we want to build this all over this logic of earning the theta.
Okay.
Right. And so if you wish to do that, and of course we need to have a wider stop loss. Right. And I'm just sticking to one OTM. So one strike out of the money. And again, we'll stick to the popular 920. Right.
Okay.
And exit as late as possible, because we want to stick around to get the theta whenever it happens.
Okay.
Right? And a stop loss of, probably you would have done this, or probably it is something new for people. Stop loss of 100.
Not many do that.
Yeah. So stop loss of 100, no move stop loss to cost, no trialing, no re-entry, right? And if you can just do this.
Oh, so your focus is entirely on capturing the theta. So you want the
Yes.
market to run here and there, so that at any point in time, you want both the legs to stay intact.
Yes.
But just for the worst case scenario, you have kept 100% stop loss. It means if I have sold 200 rupees, my stop loss is 400 for call.
400, yes.
Got it. Okay.
So this looks okay to me, right? And
not bad. I haven't thought of it. And this is inclusive of 0.5% inbuilt slippages that we have.
Yes, it's inclusive of the slippages.
Okay. Not bad.
All right. Yes. So some people might feel this is, and of course there is a certain amount of uncertainty around this, right? But this is intraday for the starters, right? So your stop losses are going to be executed somehow, right? It's not going to be affected by the gaps.
Yes.
And then whatever might happen, the worst that can happen is both of your stop losses getting hit. Right? And of course that has happened, and you can see that around, maybe about out of the 900 odd days, 500 days you were clean.
Nice.
And 300 days, 350 days, of course, one of the stop loss gets hit. And yes, so when none of the stop loss gets hit on the same day, you earn about 1,800, right? On an
Right.
average.
Right.
And that is completely theta, and you're not counting on the trend. And of course, when one stop loss gets hit, you're taking a loss of 1,000. And when two stop loss gets hit, and of course, it's going to be
Big.
higher. And of course, this is something that we would see happening. But again, the odds are low, like 14 days out of.
Yeah. Maria, first of all, thank you for using this feature. I have seen so many, because this feature is very good for analysis. So this
Yes.
checkbox which Maria has done, please, our listeners, please use this thing. This thing is not for the filter. This thing is to do the analysis that when one SL happened, what was the statistics? What were the days? You can scroll down and see the days. So many things that analyze those days. Can you make it better? And you will see on what months this has come up. So thank you for using this. Yeah.
So again, about 10%, right? Slightly less than 10% is the drawdown, and keeping it around 1:1.
Recovery rate is also not bad at all. 3 days is super fine,
Yes.
man.
Yes, super fine. And again, one more thing, what I like about this is that you're not doing anything on different days. You do the pretty much the same thing all days, right? Even it works Friday, Thursday, right? Expiry date, of course, it would work better on those days. In all the days. And here again, yes, Nitish.
No, understood. Yes.
Yeah. And of course, you can see that Monday is something that is slightly on the lower side.
Because
right?
Mondays tends to be little trending. That's why.
Trending. Yeah. And
floating in on weekends.
yes. So if you remove that, and of course, this is what it's showing. But if I'm going to be trading, I'd include all the days possible, right? Even if Saturday is working, you include that as well, right? Because we do not know next year. Tuesday could be the next Monday, right? And Friday could be the next Wednesday.
I like that you're including explicitly the worst days as well. You could have excluded Monday. Like I would definitely exclude Monday, but let's see the worst case scenarios.
Yes. So if you exclude this looks a lot more good, right? 12,000, and for a system with the 100% stop loss, right? And you're not counting on the trend at all, right? So whenever we use any 30%, 20%, and we are counting on the trend to happen, right? Here you want the U-turns, the V curves and the W turns of the market, right?
Right.
It should go up and come down. Maybe today, yes, it did take the stop loss, right? Today there was this huge run, and so of course, and there will be these days where you are not supposed to earn, right? Because you're earning through theta, and whenever there's a trend, you're not supposed to earn. And if you're fixing the system to earn on that days, right? And again, we are moving towards finding something that is perfect. And these are the days where we are happy to lose and wait for these days to come, right? And because we know that these days are there for us.
Nice.
Right. So yes, so instead of doing this 4 lots, and this could be done as a basket, right? Maybe, okay, I'll add one basket.
By the way, for
and
people,
Nitish, yes, sorry, Nitish, yes. So if you look at this system, why I'd call this most simple is that, again, you do not need an algo to execute this, right? Whatever time you fix, say 9:20 or 9:25.
Yeah.
You could just put in the order with your broker, and probably for people who want to test it out, right, they can just place these stop losses and close the trade at the end of the day without need for any automation as well.
Nice.
So let's say we do the same thing, right?
While taking your name, Maria, it reminds me of a song of Salman Khan. Maria, Senorita Maria. Yeah, you keep making it. I'm just acting as a filler here. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we're adding one more. Like probably again, if we can spread this out throughout the day, right? And you can call this as a day parting, right? Where You run
Nice.
your ads, right?
Okay.
Yes, I'm from that field, right? Online advertising, where we call this day parting, where you segregate the budgets throughout the day. All the budget is not spent early in the morning. It's spent little later.
Nice.
So all the popular times you can put right any time, and maybe we can just keep a uniformity here, right? So say 9:20 and 9:45, and pretty much the same rules, right? One strike.
Yeah, it's a triangle. Yeah, one
Yeah.
strike away. Bank Nifty weekly. One side. And you're using. Nice. Set 3. So this will be 10-10. Nice. Okay. Oh, we are doing 4 lots. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, 4
Nice.
lots.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Do we need to add a positional here as well, like you mentioned? Or
Yes,
later?
yes, we could add that as well, right? So for now, let's just do this and see if so we the benchmark is 10% drawdown. And what do you think, Nitish?
I would always see. By the way, I'm impressed with that number already. That 12,000 number without a Monday. It's a very good number.
Yes.
And I was also looking at RR because that is one of the things I look at. RR is also
Mm.
was close to 1 there.
Mm.
So I have a higher expectations from this. So let's say for 4 lots, it should be around 10%, not more than that. So 10% means around roughly, 80,000
Yeah.
is 10%. So this is less than
Yes,
10%.
less than 10% with all the days. And of course, this is little late, right? So the S4 is something that can be moved in little earlier or whatever. But again, we'll not try and do that.
Yeah.
As it is, this is how it looks. And if you take out Monday, yes, it is probably at around 5%.
Most better. Yeah. Understood. Let me analyze it. Let me take a look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this RR ratio is decent. It's
Decent.
very
Yes.
decent. 1. And MDD is now 5%. Because
Yes.
we're doing 4 lots, so 80 lakhs, 5%. Expectancy is something that I generally prefer to be higher, on the higher side, more than 0.7. But as you said, don't try to perfect the system. And it's a very raw system that you have said.
Yes,
If
it
it
is around.
works, probably what else users want.
Yes.
And average day profit for 6. Oh, nice. Close to 600 rupees. Not bad. Yeah,
Yes.
that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
And yes, so this is around 68. Again, I'd think of this as a natural number, right? 68% means, you're in sync with the nature, right? The one standard
Yes.
deviation. And
Definitely, yes.
we do not need, much more than that. Of course, of course, we would see this, slightly correlated because, of course, they are, just 20 minutes away from each other. And uh, each of them is trying to capture the theta, right? It's not like they're uncorrelated, where one is trying to capture the theta and another is trying to capture the trend.
True. Got it.
So for your 8 lakhs, you're almost doing good with a lower drawdown and getting something that is decent.
Understood. Yep.
And yes, again, without any complications. And the thing about this, Nitish, is that I would not be worried about implementing this or not feel anything. Tomorrow market might change, right? Again, these are the things that happens, a part of the noise, right? Where people say that markets have completely changed after September. And then, if you remember the last year in March 2021, if you remember, was the worst for, I think, 920 Stavi, right? The March of 2021. And then after that, people said, it's over, right? You cannot just, if everybody can do this, if money can be made this simple, and the operators, or the so-called myths, or whatever it is about the markets, right? And then the stop loss hunters just gather and come at you, right? And then I think the next month it made the highest equity curve high, and then again it's just working this year as well, right? It's just that the plain vanilla one maybe needs some change, but overall things just go with the flow. And this is, I think the people who trade these systems, or the people who believe that the whole world is behind us to for a stop loss, right? And I think it's too small of a game for market to completely change itself, right? Market to completely change its fabric of how it moves here and there. And of course, markets are not going to be making the same kind of path, right? It follows a different path, but ultimately buyers and sellers are going to be fighting it out, and chaos is always there. And as long as we bring in some kind of an order and without overfitting, right? And so I'm going to be very, very comfortable, something like this.
Bro, this is very great way of looking at it, that if your win percent is close to now 65 to 70, you are
Yes.
sync with the nature. So that's also one way to look at it, listeners. Look at it in this way as well. Do test your strategies and see if it's in sync with the markets or not.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So because, there's always a chance of a 90% strategy falling to 80%, right? And then when that happens, this whole numbers would change, right? The drawdowns would change, your expectancy would change, and everything else would change if the total, total weight of the system is carried by that win percent, right? Right now, what I look at this is more or less evenly spread.
Yes. True.
Yeah. So again, going by that, if we can just add one more, say, a positional system to this. Again, keeping it simple, right? So 3 days before the expiry, right? Say Monday. Keeping the same strangle, and the same the stop loss of 100%, right? And we let it go till the morning of expiry, right? 9:30 of expiry day. Yeah,
you can
I'll uncheck
you can uncheck the
Friday.
Monday, and Monday from there, na?
Okay.
Or what? Yes. Let's see. Oh, Monday unchecking will actually just add Monday there. Yes.
Yeah, I unchecked Friday here because
It doesn't matter.
certain
That
times,
doesn't matter. Yeah.
certain times,
Oh,
whenever there's a holiday here, right?
yeah,
It'll select Friday.
Oh, that's
So,
smart. That's
yeah.
smart.
So when Friday is an entry, we would not do that on Fridays.
Understood.
So this again is
Nice.
pretty much close, right? And of course, we see that it is running, but again, I'd wait for it to run and come back, right?
Got it.
So this again, going by this, right? Again, we could probably fit in one expiry here, right? Because you have your 4 lots trading on Thursdays, but this you're closing on Thursday morning, right? So this one lot is something that you close, so you can does only on the expiry days, right? So expiry.
Oh, understood. So one of the lots that you have started from Monday,
Yeah,
through Thursday morning,
Thursday
that
morning.
capital will be left free. So you are trading that.
Yeah.
From 9:30.
9:30 to the end of the day.
Nice way.
Right. And again, the same
strangle. Yeah, I see.
Right.
You're keeping it ultra simple, actually. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. And then I put a stop loss of 50%.
Okay.
Right. Probably move stop loss to cost.
Okay.
Let's keep it around, say, 65%.
Now you're trying to play with the systems.
Yeah. Now this is Of course, because we know on expiry day, right, one of these are going to go to zero, right? And that is, of course, a day where we can play with.
Mm. Keeping higher stop losses on expiry days also makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Like, because premiums are too low. Yep.
Yes. So expiry is added, right? So again, that makes about 700. So this actually beats our benchmark of
Ah,
making about 1,800 per lot per week. In total, yes. So we would be ending up making that. And I think much
nice.
more than that, right? Because we trade all of these four on
On Tuesday.
4 days a week.
Yeah.
And then these, they do about, they cross about 2,000
Nice. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we're
Got.
keeping that, right? So if I have to deploy a 10 lakh tomorrow, right, I design something similar here like this, where I wouldn't be bothered about touching it for months or years.
Maria, sir, I want to become your student here. What if I am learning from you? Okay. I know there are many students have learned from you. But what if I ask you a question here? Maria, sir, everything looks cool, but I don't want to lose a single month ever. And it has 3 losing months. What would I do, sir?
So you need to step up and understand that this is why the markets pays us, right? So in fact, I've there is this idea that if you can think about this, right, this Nitish, so it's simple, right? If you can spend some time with some Stockmock credits and you spend a weekend, right, and that is something that is going to build your future. If you can commit, say, some money, and then if you're committed to it for next few years, it could just build a fortune or a little fortune for you. And things don't come that easily, right? Logically, it won't come that easily. So what is that you need to bring to the table?
This thing, this whatever you have created, this presentation looks ultra cool. So is it possible for you to share with us so that we can add it in the link and users can get to know about it?
Definitely, yes, Natish. I'll be able to get a PDF of this. I assume, yes, I'll be able to get
Yeah.
this
Later on,
PDF
you can
of that.
share that. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Why do we get paid? I don't know.
So, yes, so this is what it is going to be, right? For staying put is going to be the most difficult job, right? I'm not sure how you do this, Nitish. So, whenever there is somebody who's on the screen, this urge will come all the time, right? So whenever they see something going, and then there will be this urge to either book the profits or to cut the losses short, and all of this. And staying put is going to be the most difficult job, right? And from my community, what I've learned is that people who did not carry any baggage, or people who did not have any background of discretionary trading, do this easily. Mostly, like, it comes for them easily, but still, as long as money is involved, right? Yeah, hard-earned money, right? We see it going up and down, paper money, right? And emotions are going to be coming into play, right? And staying put is actually associated with pain, right? A pain of not doing anything and just waiting it out. Like, it's almost like, my son asked me, what do you do the whole day, right? And
It's a
if
painful
things are
question.
running, yeah, then I tell him that,
Okay.
see, the kind of thing that I do is, it's just like watching paint dry, right? I do not have anything to do. Most of the reading I do only at the market time,
Okay.
right? And then I do have this monitors and everything set up, right? And I think it kind of looks cool, but there's no use to it.
Okay.
And most of the times, it is just used for running Stockmock. Probably you would have seen even before this session,
Yeah.
a lot of credits being used, right? And so staying put and going through pain is something that is the reason market is ready to pay, right? Because weak hands don't do that. And our job is to not uh, become one, right? I'd say the market's job, right? As somebody said, the market's job is to make full of as many people as possible, right? And it always does it, and it always does it very, very well, right? By shaking the weak hands and making anybody lose confidence, and it actually makes anybody feel like shit, at any point, and then it's always keeps everybody in that state of uncertainty,
Nice.
right? And so for us to declutter and shrug off that urge to shift systems and to fix something and all that, and just staying put and being that strong hand in the market is what we are getting paid for. And that is not an easy job.
Yeah, it's not easy. And it's a nice way to look at it, Maria, that if we change our vocabulary, that if we are not disciplined with our systems, or if we are breaking our systems, let's call ourselves that we are becoming weak. And
Yes.
if we are staying with our systems and we are disciplined, let's call it that we are becoming stronger, rather than focusing on the outcome. Yeah. So thank you so much, Maria, for showing the systems, for accepting to share the PPT, this presentation that you have made. It is very lovely. So now I want to have some quick discussion with you.
Definitely, yes.
Please stop sharing. So we are here. Listeners, I hope you have liked the approach of Maria, that let's talk to the systems the way it is. Let's not try to perfect it. And I like this approach that he wants to capture the theta. With 10 lakh rupees, he has decided to do 4 lots, 1 lot's positional, and positional he has done 1 on an expiry day. It's really great. So the thought process is actually really great. The win percent logic of 66%, 68% means you are actually with the systems. You are not over optimizing it, not giving too much preference on the losing months. It's again kind of perfecting the systems is also a nice way of looking at it. My question to you is, generally teachers or so-called trainers try to showcase their systems in a much better fashion, like no loss month, no loss day, 2% thing. Why are you showing such stuff? Don't students run away from you?
Okay, maybe you should ask them, but I'd say what I understand from my people is that they're not after that, or people pretty much look for how can I stay in the game for longer, right? So that kind of uh, advice or mentorship is what most people were after. And but I know there is this different kind of a game where people can promise like 5%, 10%, and of course that is something that happens, right? People end up making more than that and all that. But another part I'd like to tell you, Nitish, is in my community we have a very good success rate, and that is because of.
Please tell us more about that success rate and other things. And then I'll tell you a story which I haven't told you earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So success rate, I'd say, as I told you, about 1,800, 2,000 people are there in my community, right? And it's a closed community. We operate on Discord, and we have weekly sessions and all that.
Okay.
And there are about 150 of them, right? Who we have something called as 6-figure club, right? So they've crossed that.
Okay.
Which is again crossing a profit of 1 lakh. And then there is next one, which is like 7-figure club,
Okay.
right? About 68 people, right? Of course, people who are active and who report, and they we do similar kind of interviews with them in my community, and then we post them for others to get inspired and follow that path, right? And so that's how it goes. And again, there are a few who crossed the 9 figures as well, and people who are big hitters. And yeah, so it started with that approach of they knowing this, that it is not about making money, right? It is about getting to know something that is scalable, and that is something that I can follow without being disturbed. So that is the reason, first thing that I usually tell is that we need to be of the social media to be to actually get some kind of results.
That's nice. That's really commendable, actually, because generally people say you have won, you are into six figure, showcase and tag me. That's a very nice
Yeah.
way of approaching it. By the way, now I'm going to tell you a secret story. You were not aware of it. Okay. Now I wanted a bicycle for my daughter, and I went to a store in Delhi. I bought a bicycle, but that guy name is Aditya. Aditya has your photo and your name written next to it. And I said, "What? Who is this?" I said, "Who is this guy, man? Is he kind of a god or something?" I don't know. So he said he's a god to me. He has saved me in this trading world. I literally didn't tell him about that Maria is something. He knew me as well. And he said that, "Sir, you must meet Maria, sir." I said, "Okay, I will. But tell me something more about him." And he was so happy that he always keeps us grounded, that whenever we win, he says there will time that will come when you will lose this win. Don't be excited about it. Just see if you are following the process or not. So that was the time I decided that one day I will surely invite you on the podcast and we'll share the story then with you. I
Okay.
was really, really impressed with that thought process, because I can say good or bad about me, it's in my hand. But what my students are saying, that really reflects how good I am. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, Nitish. I didn't know about this, right? Maybe even I am feeling overwhelmed about that. So good to know. And of course, I don't know how did you keep that as a secret for long.
I told Aditya not to share that with you as well.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It was really nice session, Maria. Thank you so much for coming. Before we wind it up, any last words for our listeners, for our retail community, because you get in touch with so many of them?
Yes, definitely. So the primary thing I wanted to tell is this is the long game where we need to just play time, right? Rest of the things are going to fall in place, and we just need to keep doing the right things over and over again every day, even if it is boring, and even if it is not interesting, and if it is not something that you would want to share with your friends, right? And the things that we do this way, right, is something that cannot be taken away from us. So we just need to keep doing this for long periods.
Definitely, yes. See, time is what we have, and it's a
Yes.
long journey. It's not a short journey.
Yes.
Thank you, Maria, for accepting the invite. Thank you for sharing such a good knowledge. I hope it adds some value to our users. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thanks for inviting. Bye.
So listeners, I hope it added some value. As I always say, my intention is very simple. I bring people on board so that they give something, and it adds value to you in one way or the other. You never know what is going to impact our users. Who is listening? Who wants what? See, because as it is said, there is a book. If 10 people read it, everyone will get different gist out of it. Because what is lacking in their journey, they will find that. So that's why I feel every podcast is important. And therefore, I request you to listen to the podcast whenever you get the time, because you never know what that missing piece in the puzzle that you are going to get from the podcast, either from mine or from Vivek Bajaj or from anywhere else. We are doing our duty to bring in the real traders that have gone through the difficult path, so that you don't have to go through that path. So thank you so much for listening this far. As I always say, please do subscribe to our channel. Please share the video if you have liked, and happy backtesting. Take care. Bye-bye.